So months ago, I uploaded a video on my YouTube channel where I talked about my job as a caregiver in a long-term care facility. Had so many people being interested in that video, getting into the job and experiencing it and asking so many questions along the line. I am here to talk about other certificates that you might have that can help you get this type of job as a caregiver. Remember, I am not a nurse. I am not a PSW. I'm not a personal support worker, but I am also a caregiver. I'm going to talk about, some of the certificates that you might already have, maybe back at home, you're trying to maybe use to get into this form of caregiving job. I'm going to talk about those. Also, to the end of the video, I'm going to talk about how you can get into this program without a Canadian experience, like what you can do on your own to get your foot at the door and maybe even get an interview with a recruiter or get a supervisor or a programs manager in a long-term care to even consider you and your job application. So if you're ready, I am ready. Let's get right into it.
If you ride with me, I gotta work for the both of us. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry in the love.
Like I said earlier on in the previous video, I don't have much experience. Now I do have experience. When I got into it, I was a greenhorn. I went under training, so I was open to information and I have my ears to the ground because, honey, it's a world of information. If you want to know things, you need to study and you need to research. So I asked so many questions. One thing that came to light was the fact that in as much as I do recreation and leisure service as my program in college here in Canada, one of the reasons why I got to have or I got the chance to even interview for this job was the fact that I had a certificate in psychology. One of the things that my supervisor told me that helped me, made me stand out of the crowd, even though I don't have a diploma yet in recreation and leisure service, the fact that I had a degree in psychology and English, she picked me and gave me a slot to even interview for this job. So if you have a degree in psychology, honey, you can go for this job. At least it can be a step in a direction. If you have a degree or a diploma in kinesiology, you can apply for this job. If you have a degree or diploma in physiology, you can do this. And the wildest one I heard recently, that if you have a degree or diploma in human resource, you can actually apply for this job. Yes. And you applying for this job, it's not like automatically you can get it. No, it depends on what your recruiter is looking for. It depends on what the manager, whoever is hiring, is looking for. I was blessed to have a recruiter that was looking for new people to train. In as much as she wanted people with experience, 70% she was looking for people that at least had a certificate or a background in caring for people or understanding people, to understand people's behavior and everything. And with long-term care or caring for seniors in a home, you really need to understand it. If you have psychology in it, is very easy for you to understand. So you know that some tantrums are not to let you in on the fact that maybe they are mean. Some tantrums are to let you know that no, there's a problem somewhere and you need to find the remote cause or the immediate cause to why the senior is showing a tantrum. I'm just trying to give an example. So me having a psychology background helps me understand a patient, maybe to an extent, not the whole thing, but it will make me care and have empathy and not act wild or scared when I see a senior or somebody I'm caring for, a child I'm caring for, acting out of the norm. I have education on that. My recruiter told me that the fact that I having a degree in psychology made me stand out from the crowd of people that did not have a certificate directly linked to the program. And because it's something that I'm still pursuing, it made her at least decide to give me an interview for me to meet her and talk on a professional level. So at least it got me to the door, thank God. So in submitting my certificate, I had to submit my legal certificate, which was wild. I didn't think about that, but yes, when she told me that, I was like, oh wow, that is interesting. So if you have a degree or diploma or any education in kinesiology, physiology, if you have any educational background in human resource, this program is something that you can look into. So now let's get to the part where you don't have Canadian experience. Like I talked about that, and I talked about the fact that it depends on the recruiter Like I said, it depends on the recruiter and what the person is looking for. If the recruiter is looking for somebody with experience when it comes to working with older folks or working with kids, then if you don't have experience, they're not going to pick you. But if the person is looking for somebody to train, somebody that has that potential or at least have an experience with caring for people with all the the programs that I've mentioned, kinesiology, physiology, psychology, we deal with people. So something like that, human resource, that program deals with people, so something like that, it can put your foot at the door. I think that you might never know till you apply. So if you have these kind of degree or diplomas or certificates with you, feel free to apply for such a job, and let's hope and pray it's what your recruiter is looking for. And also how to get into the job if you don't have a Canadian experience. Like I said, the person that was recruiting just wanted new people that at least had an idea when it comes to recreation and leisure service, when it comes to taking care of older folks and putting activities that are age appropriate for them, and how to even go about these activities, facilitating them and everything. Let's come to the strategy. Let's say you want to get in, you have a degree in psychology as well, you are in Canada, you're trying to apply for this job, but yes, you don't have a Canadian experience. What can you do? One strategy you can do is to go to that long-term care facility website and look for their volunteering programs. They do a lot of volunteering programs, and go in as a volunteer to help them with their recreation activities. Trust me, that is a way to get into it. If you're a volunteer, yes, you might not be paid, but like I said, it is a way to get into it. Over here, it's more about, it's either somebody is vouching for you or they watching you and how you work with people. Do you get, at least to get somebody to notice you and give you that chance to get into this kind of job? So you can choose to go on these websites, choose any. If you're here and you're in Canada, choose, look, whichever province you're in, just look for any long-term care facility around you, any assisted living facility around, any retirement home around you, and just go to their website and look for their volunteering page. There's a page where they, people can volunteer to come and help. Go there if you can and let them know that, hey, I'm this so and so, I'm a student here, or I'm this, I'm that, I just want to help with recreation. If you have any programs available, it's summer, they have so many programs. I think even in other seasons as well, they have so many programs. The only thing is that you need to make time. You wouldn't go every day, but just choose a day to just go and help. Once you go and help and they can see how you relate with these people, it is very easy to hear when there is job postings available in that building. Because if you're going as a volunteer, they're going to do so many background checks on you. They're going to ask you so many things which you can actually provide, because you're just coming in to volunteer. And for you to volunteer and not get anything paid is one step of showing that you have passion for the job. You might not go every day because you need the money, so you can just choose a day in a week to just go volunteer for some 3 or 4 hours, learn on the job, look at how these caregivers go about, doing their jobs, and help. You help, you see how they put activities together. You can ask questions because you are already there, you're volunteering. It's very easy for them to talk to you. You can ask your questions that, oh, with time, if you go there with time, you'll get somebody that is so nice that you can ask, oh, I'm trying to get into this job, what would I do? Would I hear of any job postings? They'll first ask you, what do you do, what do you get it, so you can get into it. That is the only way, because trust me, volunteering, if you have, if even if you don't want to work in that establishment, you can volunteer, do that for 3 months, and put that volunteering work on your CV or on your resume. And that, my friend, goes a long way. Here, volunteering work, they consider it, because for you to volunteer, give your time to something that does not pay you, it speaks volumes of you as a person. That means that you have passion for the job, and at least you know what a job is about. So even if they're going to train you, they know that, oh, you've done this here, so you have an idea of what your job is about. It's a way to stand out from the whole crowd of people applying for this particular job, honestly. And that is what people always told me. So I'm just blessed and happy to get a job that, the practical side of what I study in school, is so nice to have that experience. So if you want to get into it, caregiving jobs, and to be a recreation aide or recreation facilitator, and you have these qualifications or these education background, please do well to apply. Like I said, if you don't have a Canadian experience and a professional Canadian experience in this, a way to get in is to volunteer. Yes, I know it can be a pain in the, because I mean, as an international student, we are very much restricted. A lot of people talk about how there are no jobs here and everything. If you really want to get a job, there's certain sacrifice sometimes you need to make. You need to meet, if it depends on how serious you are with this job or how you really want to get in, you need to make a move. You need to go for it sometimes. Yes, have you walked in the establishment to ask around? Sometimes you think the things that you might do that might seem a bit off, sometimes those are the things that work. If you can go into the place, go there and ask your questions, go there and volunteer, start. Sometimes they are, no, you see, it's a business people are running, it's a facility. They are there to take care of people. When they see that you're passionate about what they do, it's very easy for them to listen to you and give you the information you need, other than being on the phone and asking questions. So if you've been there, you've helped them, facilitate an event. It's very easy for one person, somebody working that say, "Oh, we're having a job, opening. Do you wanna apply for it?" And it's very easy for somebody to vouch for you because they see you work, they've worked with you as a volunteer, so they know that you're good at this job. That is a strategy. I know it's a long shot, but it's better than applying for so many jobs and not getting in and sitting at home and doing nothing. It's easier for them to train someone that is already in the system that works with them than to go hire somebody in. So you need to get your foot in, even if you want to be something, and maybe you want to be a counselor, you want to be care support worker, you want to be something else, other another type of caregiver, not specifically my job. You need to get into the system first, because once you get it, you get so many job opportunities, but are limited to people that actually work in the company only. If you're thinking of how you can break through, I know it's a long shot. I know that people don't work for free. As international students, we need a lot of money to think of doing volunteering work. But if you can dedicate maybe that your 3 hours in a day to just going in there, helping out just to get your foot at the door when it comes to securing a job in a long-term care as a caregiver, honey, it would pay off, because they are in need of people, but they are not desperate. They are in need of people. But the reason why they will not just employ just anybody is because they are dealing with life, they are dealing with people. They are dealing with grandmothers and grandfathers of people. They are dealing with mothers and fathers of people to just employ just anybody. Do you get it? So they are just doing what they need to do. So yes, they might need people, but if you don't have the right qualifications or you don't have some of these things that I've mentioned, empathy, passion, how can you sit at home and talk about you have empathy, you want to work, when you're not ready to do anything? So you meeting them halfway, it's very easy for them to put you on because you were showing that you want it. Not everybody can do it, but it's up to you to break even. That is how come some of us still have jobs, because we go extra. It's not because we are stupid, it's because we know what we want and we know the bills we need to settle and the bills we need to pay. Do you get it? So it depends on you and your principles as a person. If you don't want it and you don't want to do it, that is fine, but I'm sharing with you. So if you're thinking of it and you're asking, oh my God, I don't have a Canadian experience as a professional caregiver. Maybe you've taken care of kids before, you've taken care of, older folks before professionally, you bathe them, you bath them. It's something that you do, but maybe you're new here in Canada and you don't have that Canadian experience. That is the key word, Canadian experience. How do you get your foot to the door if you don't know anybody? That strategy, volunteering, it works. And like I said, even if you volunteer in that particular facility and they don't pick you, you put in that volunteering piece on your CV or your resume, trust me, it goes a long way. So there you have it. I am not, and I will keep saying this because I get so many questions about nurses. I am not a nurse. I am not a personal support worker. I am a recreation aide, hope hoping to be a recreation facilitator in the future. I am also a caregiver. I work hand in hand with nurses and personal support workers. We give care to people as well, but my field is more of recreation activities, putting activities together that can entertain, educate, these older folks, that are age appropriate, can keep them cognitively, stimulated, that can keep them active. We entertain people with our creativity coupled with professionalism and the training that we also get from school, from all the certificates that we have, and even one-on-one training on the jobs. It's easy, but it's not easy. Working with people is one of the hardest thing. Talk of working with people that have special needs, people that need special attention. That is different. Like I said, it's on another level, but it is something that you need to be passionate about to really, really get into it. So my name once again is Dorothy Cornelius. See you in the next video.